morning. Welcome back to the channel. We are up in somewhere, Florida. Is this Palatka? We're in a town called Spuds because of all the potato agriculture industry that goes on in Florida. We are all finally getting ready. It's a little bit after 8. I think the original plan was 7, but that shit never works out. If we would have said 8, we'd have been leaving at 9. We're gonna head up to Orange Park, which is part of Jacksonville. It's like on the southwest side of Jacksonville. It's where the Navy Air Station is, kind of a little bit north of that, but we're gonna go check out a grave site. Taz ended up showing up. Check him out, man. So not only is he walking again, for those who know Taz, know that story. If you don't, he was in a motorcycle accident not too long ago, and on his street glide. So he got this road glide special. Check him out, man. I mean, it's not as cool as a gold wing. We all know that, but it's his. It's not award-winning yet. That's right. One of these bikes is an award-winning motorcycle. It's not up to me to say which one, but one of them is an award-winning motorcycle. Let's get on the road. We're gonna grab some grub on the way, I think. I don't know the route. I thought Greg was looking it up. He said he didn't want to, so sounds like Colleen's gonna do it. We'll see you around. Hell yeah, boys and girls. Rise and shine. I'm totally looking forward to this little ride this morning. Got about 30 minutes up to this little breakfast spot we're going to called Sunrise and Sunset. This will be good. It should be a nice, pretty ride. It's about 60 degrees this morning. I put on my leather. I have a feeling by the time we're done with breakfast, I'll be ready to take this off and put on the vest for the day. So yesterday, last week I fixed this coolant thing. Actually, to be honest with you, I didn't really do a whole lot. It kind of fixed itself, but I did some things to help it along. We haven't gone a mile yet, and we're already lost. Okay, after a couple of course corrections, here we are. Oh, this is pretty already. Anyway, like I was saying, after we got the coolant fixed last week, I did the little Taste of Tampa ride. Not very far, right? Just a few miles. And then yesterday was a true test, a nice beating on the cooling system. So 200-mile ride with a lot of stop and go. We're in little towns, we're on red lights. Going into St. Augustine's always busy. It was really stressing the cooling system. So give it a nice workout, man. This morning, right before warming it up, checked it out. Fucking perfect. Full in both the radiator and the reservoir. So man, I feel so good about that. So good about that. There were never any leaks yesterday anywhere under the bike. Anytime we stopped, I would check it out. Nothing going on. Also checked the oil while we were back here. This is the first ride of longer than 20 miles since back in November we went to Savannah. Oil level's perfect. So at least for now, she's back to running like a champ. Now, one little thing I have noticed is that my spring inside the master cylinder for the clutch is starting to squeak. Last time I had that was on the 1200, just before I rebuilt the slave cylinder. So might have to rebuild that master cylinder. That's cheap, that's easy. I can do that. Well, I say it's easy, and then I run into problems. We'll find out. Last night was my first experience in an Airbnb. Man, it's pretty neat. We have it's 4 total bedrooms, right? Jack and Colleen shared the biggest bed. Only makes sense. They're a couple. Taz and I, who aren't really small ourselves, we shared a room that had 2 twin beds, and the headboards were so loose that every time I moved last night, the headboard would bang against the wall. So I got okay sleep, but it wasn't very solid sleep, which is fine. And then this morning, I'm going to take a shower. Neither me nor Aaron could figure out how to turn on the shower. It took me a little bit even to figure out how to control the temperature of the water. Like, they had some kind of fancy shit going on with the handle. I don't like that, man. Just put some simple shit on there so even a monkey like me can understand. I don't know. It just makes sense to me. Greg goes in there. He's the engineer, all right? He figures out the shower's little collar that you pull down at the bottom of the spigot. So tomorrow I'll be able to take a shower. Today I took a bath. That's the moral of the story. I took a bath for the first time since I visited Europe in 2009. I'm not built for a regular old bathtub, man. I look like I was crammed into a sardine can back there, I'm pretty sure. Awkward as fuck, and then you lay there, you're thinking, well, I'm laying in my own filth that I just washed off my nasty body. I can't rinse off the soap that I put on there to wash because I'm laying in that too. So I don't like baths, man. Give me a shower any old day of the week. Where we're headed to is, I mean, it still is, but it used to be its own, like, specific town called Orange Park. And it's still, if you sent mail up there, you'd send it to Orange Park, Florida. But Jacksonville, just like everywhere, has grown so much that it's kind of all run together. I don't really want to talk the whole way because this ride's already really pretty. And I just kind of want to enjoy that, listen to some music. But we'll get some B-roll footage along the way. Take a look at this absolutely fucking gorgeous Florida morning. Every morning in Florida is gorgeous, if you ask me, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll head up there. We'll see you down the road. After Aaron tried to take us off-road, that was wild, man. I would request a refund on your map app.
Well, I'm not a big excuse guy, but I was like, holy shit. You know, my truck is just spinning on my Google Maps.
We found this spot, sunrise to sunset. I was just gonna wing it and find some place along the way, but Colleen, being the planner as she is, located this before we even left, so we're gonna go in and get some grub. Okay, so this place is pretty popping, man, inside of here. We're in a town called Green Cove Springs, which is a pretty small town on Highway 17, right on the St. Johns River. This omelet actually looks pretty freaking baller, honestly. It's an egg taco. Aaron specifically asked for no pancakes. Angel, our waitress, said, fuck you, dude. You are eating these pancakes whether you want them or not. Green Cove Springs is my hood, okay? You can't be coming in here demanding shit. This ain't Burger King, motherfucker. Okay, we're giving this omelet a shot. Superb. Superb. Although it is kind of hard to fuck up eggs. Not impossible, but difficult.
2 hours later.
Okay, so kind of somber being in a cemetery. A lot of you guys might know how I feel about death. It's just a part of life, so I never really get stricken with any kind of remorse or grief when people die. But I did want to come and pay respects to Ronnie Van Zant. I mean, the dude died when I was a year old, so it's not like I had any memory as a kid of, you know, listening to him on the radio much or anything, but I grew up listening to that stuff. And they're still, you know, one of my favorite bands. I listen to them all the time. Shit, man, I listen to them pretty much every time I ride. So they buried Ronnie Van Zant in a cemetery not far from here. And then a few years ago, they moved him to here. So, as you can see, there's no longer a grave here. Apparently, it kept getting vandalized again, so they moved it last month, January 2022. First of all, how dare people fucking disrespect the dead that way, no matter who the fuck it is? I don't know, man. It just bothers the fuck out of me. Second of all, it's kind of eerie a little bit that you can see where they put the sod down, where they dug him up and moved him. There are a lot of Van Zants here in this graveyard. You've got a whole Van Zant row here. Where we park the bikes were more Van Zants. Big family here. So I guess we got no other choice but to just sit here and drink all day. Taz and I were talking. I don't think he minds too much, either that we're here recording or being moved. He pretty much doesn't care about anything these days. Man of many words right here. All right, enough of the grave site. Some in the world may have called this a waste of time since Ronnie has been moved, but I don't. You know, we still have the opportunity to pay respects at the family site, pay respects to Billy Powell. I don't know, I think, call me weird, but just kind of knowing that his resting place was right there, at least for a while. I don't want to say cool, because, I mean, a dead dude was there, right? But kind of cool. One of these days, I've been talking about taking a trip up to Mississippi where their plane crashed. I would like to see that. Obviously, it doesn't look like a plane crash these days, but just going up there to the site, just kind of taking that all in, man. So we picked up Windroad Therapy. She's going to come along with us down to St. Augustine, and we're going to take the scenic route. We're going to head, we are on the far west side of Jacksonville. The 295 is a loop around Jacksonville, and we're on that piece of it. So we're going to head up, get I-10, which is one of the major east-west interstates in the U.S., head to the east, and we're going to hit A1A over by Jacksonville Beach, and then head down A1A to St. Augustine. So, pretty cool, man, if you ask me. I don't know if Windroad Therapy is going to hang out with us the whole time, but she's at least going to hang out with us for a little while today. It's already noon, you know, half the day's over, but it's fine. It's just a bunch of friends out riding motorcycles in one car. But she was already in her cage, so it is what it is. We saw some other people and come into the graveyard there, and you could tell they were lost looking, and we knew exactly what they were looking for. And sure enough, they pulled up to us and said, "Hey, I bet you guys know what we're looking for." And I said, "Yes, sir." And shared with them what we had learned about Ronnie being moved. Like I mentioned back there at the graveyard, man, death for me, and I said it, gosh, there's a video, if I remember, I'll put one of those little cards up here somewhere. I went up to Tennessee back in 2018 on the road glide that I had for my grandfather's funeral, and that was my last grandparent. You know, and I said it a few times in there that it doesn't really, death doesn't really hurt me. For my own death, I'm not scared of it. I don't want my family to be without me necessarily, and I'd probably feel a lot different if something happened to one of my children or my wife. But death has always been, I don't know, it's just a part of life, and I don't know. I don't want to go on and on too long about that. I don't want to sound like I'm apathetic. I'm just not bothered by it. But I can appreciate accomplishments of someone's life and feel like I want to pay respect or celebrate those elements from their life. And in this case, it's Ronnie Van Zant, you know, trying to anyway, because the great music, the presence, the voice, the attitude that he had. I mean, I wasn't around, obviously, back then. I didn't know him personally, but just knowing, hearing interviews and hearing people talk about the kind of guy he was, you know, Southern man, singing songs that, you know, Southern people could really understand. And that was, you know, he had a real knack for that. You know, not making complicated songs, simple problems, simple solutions. And he was a drinker and a fighter. I don't know, man, I can appreciate that a whole lot. So anyway, enough about all that. Let's head over to A1A, head down the coast. I'll get some footage through town maybe. I'm going to listen to some music, and we'll see you down there. Okay, well, we made it to St. Augustine, but what a clusterfuck. The entirety of North America is in St. Augustine right now. You talk about stress testing that cooling system on my motorcycle. That was it, buddy. Now, it did get so warm that I started blowing some oil out of the little blow-off tubes when we parked. We ended up sitting outside the garage for 30 minutes. They were going to reopen it. They had everything shut down. All the parking lots, well, we stopped in one parking lot. The garage was completely full, so they had it shut down. Waited outside for 30 minutes. They reopened it, got in there. $15 a bike. I really don't care. I probably would have paid $50 at this point just to get fucking in there. So we stopped at this spot called Mojo's Barbecue. I guess it's a little chain. I've never heard of it. So somebody could have told me it was local and I would have believed it. But they do have local beers on tap, which is a good thing. It's right across the street from this really cool cemetery. This is now like the third time I've related the word cool with cemetery today. I like these old southern cemeteries like this. This kind of reminds me of a lot in New Orleans. We're so close to the water level that you have to put a lot of these graves up, you know, above ground. That's like pretty badass and disturbing at the same time. I don't know about that.
Who that? He's hiding behind his camera. That's Mr. Mike Branch.
It's like Julie.
So we have a new thing, resting Taz face.
This is me filming.
Taz equates himself to Grumpy Cat.
Grumpy Cat.
I mean, I don't. Everybody else.
Oh, he don't. Okay. My bad. Yeah, he hates cats, which is the most Grumpy Cat meta thing ever. So now it's resting Taz face. I love it. So never mind the fact that I'm being absolutely beat the fuck down by the sun right now. Which I came over here and I was celebrating the fact that I had the shade. Look at this. This is a masterpiece, man. 3 different kinds of meat, just like prison. We're gonna try this out. My God, I love meat so much.
That's what she said.
Superb. I'm so full. I'm in pain actually from all the food I just had, but I don't really feel bad about it. Just pain. Anyway, we're at Castillo de San Marcos, which is a pretty cool fort. If you've been to St. Augustine, you've probably seen the images everywhere. It is a national park, and they just closed. We can't go in for the tour, but we will probably be able to walk down there along. This is the moat. I wish it was still full. Those are authentic colonial era floodlights. Okay, so this soft coquina concrete wall, you can see a lot of these divots and holes. This concrete is really soft, and when the ships would come in and try to bombard, well, they didn't try to, when they would shoot cannons at the fort, because the coquina concrete is so soft, they would stick basically in the wall and just make those divots instead of destroying it, which is why one of the reasons why this fort never got defeated. But Jack noticed, and I've been here before a few times, Jack noticed this whole wall is full of little ones, and he brought up a very good question. I wonder if this is where people were executed with muskets. Ancient City Brewing, local brewery here in St. Augustine. It smells like an outhouse in here. I got some golden ale. I just want something light and refreshing, nothing really heavy today. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this one up for today. But I do appreciate you coming along, as always. And until next time,
Loves you, baby.
we'll see you later.